I'm Jolie. Welcome back to JayhawkJukebox. Today, we're going to start off with Song of the Week, you know, like we do every week. It's nothing new. So, Jolie, what did you pick?
Okay, so my song is It's Getting Hot by NLE Choppa, also known as Bryson Potts, formerly.
FKA Bryson Potts.
Right, of course. I want to hear your opinion on the song first before I speak on it. Go ahead.
So silly. I love that song. Every time I hear it on TikTok, because you know it's popular on TikTok, I'm like, oh.
Oh wow.
I know.
Thank you for that
Right,
demonstration.
right, yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's all I have to say about it, to be honest.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna preface, I love NLE Choppa.
What a silly guy.
I'm a stan. He is he's silly, goofy, shot of flow with Blueface.
Yup.
Love
that song that we can't say the name
song.
of on air.
Who said that? It wasn't me.
But you know what I'm
Anyways.
talking about.
Right. So, It's Getting Hot. It's not my favorite song, but it's fun, silly, and goofy. And it really rose to fame on TikTok, you know?
Like it always is. Because he
Like
I
most
think
songs.
he didn't he preview it on TikTok? You know, they always do where they're like,
I think so.
100K likes and I'm gonna
release
drop
it.
it. I'm gonna drop it. And I think that's what he did.
Probably.
Because I remember
silly
hearing
guy.
it way before it actually came out.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even think I have it in any of my actual playlists. I didn't realize it was an actual song.
Same.
And not a parody until honestly yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people just aren't vibing with the song. A lot of critics hate. Actually, just a lot of people in general hate the song. But NLE does not care. He does not care at all. He's just laughing at the haters, you know. Every time they're like, oh, this sucks, it's gonna be the worst song of 2023, he sends the laughing emoji. As he should. As he should. I can't think of a better way to use that emoji myself than to respond to haters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So true.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, on a completely different note,
Yeah.
the
done
song
with
I
that.
picked this week was Theory of Emotion by Del Water Gap. Del Water Gap is one of my favorite artists. Oh, there he is.
I love.
Hey. Anywho, I love that song. It's the exact opposite of It's Getting Hot by NLE Choppa. It's a very, it's called Theory of Emotion, so it's a very vulnerable song, and not to be vulnerable on Jukebox, but I relate a lot to it. And it's just,
precious.
you know, when you heard it, tell me, the opening, guitar.
Oh yeah, I was listening to it with my friend, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be fire. And she's like, it's been 15 seconds. I was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can just tell.
It's fire.
The opening guitar is just so I get chills every time I hear it, and just so good, so good.
I added it to my playlist literally after I think 45 seconds, multiple playlists.
I love to hear that. Well, that's
Beautiful.
all for Song of the Week, and we have a break, and then we'll toss it over to some Barbies.
Yay!
Barbies.
I'm Barbie.
And I'm Barbie.
Just kidding.
It's Chloe and a new little face that we have today.
It's Peyton. This is my first time on Jukebox.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm living for it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, they're showing our little things that I made, if you just happened to catch a glimpse. I made us each, the Barbie meme that was going around where people would do
Our little Barbie introduction.
yeah, it's this Barbie is, so for yours, do you remember? Okay, so here's mine. I put this Barbie is grittying because I tend to do that a lot apparently, so.
And mine says this Barbie is cackling because I tend to have a really loud, cackly laugh. So
Yeah, which is true, but I think it's it's very unique. I love it.
Yeah.
It's what makes you you, Peyton.
it's fun.
It's good. Okay, well, we can go ahead and get into the Barbie movie now. So, so obviously, movie was known for a lot of different things. Do you want to kind of go into
So there was a lot of,
basics?
it was literally everywhere. The advertising for the Barbie movie was actually insane. They had a lot of in-person experiences, things you can make those digital Barbie, hi, this is me things.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also known for all the pink, the feminism, the music, the director. Anything else?
No, I loved it. It was great. And it was fun to see it because I remember Barbie movies were such a big part of my childhood, and to see it kind of come to life and be a lot more modernized and almost now it's made for an older audience almost. So I thought that was really cool to kind of continue that, but grow with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I loved it. But what was your favorite song? Did you have one?
So after listening to the soundtrack, I realized my favorite song was Speed Drive by Charlie XCX. I think in the movie this song was playing when she was like running around, spoilers ahead, but when she was like running
Spoiler alert.
when she was running around the like Mattel company, right?
Yeah,
you remember the little
yeah.
chase scene?
Uh-huh.
And at the time when I was watching the movie, I just like didn't really hear it because there was so much happening. But then going back listening to the soundtrack, I was like, oh, I really like this like upbeat, like it gets you going. And then it's like, oh, Barbie, let's get in the car and like put it in speed drive. Put the boost on.
Exactly. Put the boost on. We got places to be.
What was your favorite song?
My favorite song was, what is it? Choose Your Fighter by Ava Max. That was one where they're like in their roller skates and then they like go in and then they're like changing different costumes and outfits. You know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
Right. So anyways, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. It was a really great song, really upbeat, really, I don't know, it was just like made me want to dance in the theater and I loved it.
Were there any other songs you liked?
Yeah, there was like, I feel like every single song was really great and I really liked how they had like, their people who put music in the movie were all like such big names, which is really cool. Like Tame Impala did a song, which is, I think that was the one when they were like traveling.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but Dominic Fike had a song.
Yeah, he did too.
Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice did a collab.
Ugh,
you know,
that
the
song
Barb
was
herself
everything.
had to have a song on the Barbie movie.
She did. She was just incredible, and honestly, I really liked how they took the song and they like used the old song, but then like made it kind of original and kind of new. Yeah, I loved it. It was so good.
It was really new. I didn't really expect it to be in this movie because this was not like a whole like M-rated movie. It was like probably the most non-PG part of the whole movie was, and now I'm bad like a Barbie.
But it was so funny because you'd see it like on TikTok and all these little kids are like dancing to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like listening to like some of the words and I'm like, right.
I just thought it was really cool to have like, you know, there's a movie about feminism and within the movie there's like two female rappers who are dominating a male-dominated like genre.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool to just, I don't know, it all kind of ties together.
Yeah, it really did. Honestly, also Billie Eilish's song, obviously, big hit.
Yes.
Everyone was obsessed with that song, and I can understand why. It was a great song.
I think it like relates to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, especially now in college, like kind of sitting there thinking like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like I've gotten through high school, I've gotten through middle school, now I'm in this place that like just thrown in, I don't know what to do, you know.
Yeah, so it's a lot about finding yourself and
finding your purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a really good song. But I will say, one of the moments that kind of caught me up is when I stayed for the credits and it went from like Nicki Minaj's song to like, and then it just jumped to Billie's song.
I didn't stay that long.
Oh, I did. I thought it was gonna be like Marvel or whatever.
You thought there was gonna be an end credit scene?
Yes, I thought there was gonna be an end credit scene, and there wasn't. So whatever, it was fine. But I thought it was super, super funny, super cute, and loved it. So great little jump there.
All right, well that's all we have for the Barbie movie this week. Anything else, Chloe?
Nope. Those were our thoughts. Thank you so much for listening, and we're gonna pan it on over.
Bye, Barbies.
Bye, Barbies.
Hey everybody, welcome to my segment this week. So I'm going to be going over my experience going to a death metal showcase earlier this year in April. I'm fairly new to the metal scene. I've only been a participant in the metal scene for like a year and a half to 2 years. Really just kind of listened to like 80s metal and heavy metal. Didn't really genre hop much outside of that. But I was really excited to be able to write an article for one of my classes about an event, and the Granada was hosting a metal showcase that I was able to secure tickets and a press pass to. So I went to that, and I was very nervous at first because it was just me going alone. I didn't have any friends go with me to this concert, and it can be very daunting because a big part of metal culture is mosh pits and, you know, it's angry music. It's a community that allows people to express their anger in a safe way. And so I was very nervous to go on my own. But once I got there, everybody that I interacted with was super supportive and kind, and it was a very tight-knit community, and even though they're super welcome to other people joining, they really do value that tight-knit community that they have formed, and it was such a nice experience to have. I'd made a battle jacket to go to the event in, and I got compliments on it, and I felt like I was a part of the community already, even though this was the first metal concert I've been to. It was super loud. Definitely wish I'd invested in some earplugs for my first time, but it was super cool, and I really got to learn what subgenres I enjoyed, because this showcase was specifically death and thrash metal, but there are other subgenres that have popped up since the emergence of metal in the 1960s, such as Christian metal and glam metal. There's, of course, death and thrash metal, heavy metal. There's so many different subgenres that there's really something for everybody. So the first band that performed was Sacred Reich. They were one of the openers. They are actually from the 1980s. They formed in 1985. And they seemed to be a pioneer of thrash metal. And so it was really cool to get to hear kind of the original thrash metal. And I was also able to see a newer thrash metal band, Municipal Waste, who is from Virginia and formed in 2001. And it was really cool to get to see two sides of the same coin, with the classic thrash metal from the 80s when it first formed, and then how it's evolved into what it is now. The third opener that they'd had was Creeping Death, which is a death metal band that formed in 2015 out of Texas. And overall, it was a super amazing experience. Death metal is a bit much for me. It's a bit too loud and too angry for me. But I really did enjoy the experience, and it really opened me up to the other subgenres in the metal scene, and allowed me to experience, the full spectrum of metal. The last band that performed was Carcass. They were actually the headliner of the show. They formed in the UK in 1985 and are known to be the pioneers of death metal and grindcore. Grindcore is essentially a fusion of heavy metal and hardcore punk, and it was super cool to get to see, all of these different bands that love the same community come together and do a performance, as a showcase, and see essentially the evolution of metal. The metal scene has served as a community for expression for the past 50 years, and it's honestly, a showcase like this is a great entry point for new fans, because, several different bands play at one concert, and these bands can be from different subgenres of metal, and it really is a great way to expose new fans to the different subgenres that exist and help them find their niche sect that they can really connect with and enjoy. Overall, it was a wonderful experience. I definitely want to go to more metal shows in the future. Everyone was super sweet and super helpful. Many people were telling me, where I should stand to be able to stay out of the mosh pit, because I didn't want to get inside the mosh pit, and I felt very awkward going up and getting behind the barrier, since I was the only one with a press pass at the period of time I was there. But nobody gave me weird looks, and people actually helped me out and helped me maneuver my way through the crowd so I could get up there, and it's such a welcoming community, and I definitely recommend, if it's something that's piqued your interest, look into it a bit more, try it out. If it's not your thing, that's fine, but if it is, you might have found a great new community to connect with. That's the end of my segment for this week. We've got a new segment coming up right after this, and I will see you guys next week.
Hi Barbie, this Alan's job is golf wing. It's the 10-year anniversary of golf wing. Woo-hoo! Now you may be thinking, because you're not as into underground music as I am, what's golf wing? Well, don't worry, I'll tell you. So, Golf Wing is a fashion brand that's all designed by Tyler, the creator, a musician, a rapper. He's really underground. You should pay him a listen. And they have literally everything. You need a golf ping pong paddle, they got you. You need golf underwear, they got you. Boom. But let's go back to the beginning. So in 2011, Odd Future, Wolfgang, Kill Them All is a group of Tyler the Creator and a bunch of other friends of his that are all creatives, artists, musicians, everything. Now, in 2013, Tyler decides, I'm going to break off and start my own fashion identity. And that is where Wolfgang comes in. So he takes Wolfgang, Golf Wang, flipped. But little did baby Tyler know, golf and its recognizable style would skyrocket, and it would be one of the most successful musician-based fashion brands we know. So some of the early golf is really recognizable. There's the nostalgic feel of the plain golf tees that just say golf, or the hats, or the flame design on the shirts and the shoes. You know, those designs that everybody was wearing, that people would get made fun of actually if they were wearing today, because then you'd be like, that Tyler the Creator fan? But that's why I'm telling you about that, so you don't do it. Now, here's a photo of me wearing one of those pieces I mentioned in 2019, little 15-year-old Jack. Tell him he looks good. You're looking great, buddy. Sorry, I distracted myself with how cute I was. But for sake of time, let's skip past that. Let's focus on Tyler, 2017. So in 2017, he opens up his first stores, his golf stores. He previously had other stores that sold his golf merch, but this was the first golf store. In October of 2017, he opened a store on Fairfax Avenue in LA, and then a second store was opened in Soho, New York on November 12th, 2022. And he's had other pop-up shops and such come out also. That's the word. And then he has this kind of sub-brand that fits into his golf brand called Golf LaFleur, which is a collab with Converse, to where they came out with a bunch of different funky shoes with really fun pastel colors. The flower that had been this big identity for the brand is all over the shoes. And actually, a fun fact, it was made Golf LaFleur to mean flower boy in French, but that's not accurate. So get on your game, Tyler. Come on now. Now let's get to the modern day. The brand has continued to grow with Tyler and grow with his sense of music, and his styles really represent each album that he has come out with. And it's really fun to track the different identities and the different vibes that he gives off with his music corresponding with his fashion. It's really fun to see how he grows along with his ideas. Isn't that crazy? So the Golf Wing 10-year anniversary is in September of this year. It's right now. That's why I'm talking about it. And as you can see, actually, by my sticker right here, I'm a little bit of a fan myself. So I figured there's no better way to celebrate than to do a haul, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, that's cool. So I'm going to show you guys my little collection. You can make fun of me in the comments. So I got this green shirt that says, "There's 6 million ways to die. Choose golf." It's got the little green and the pink accent. I love it. I've got these Golf Wing socks. They're clean, don't worry. They're really fun. They're really cozy and comfortable to wear. I also, now this one's unique because this isn't golf. This is an album. Call Me If You Get Lost. Come on. But I did get this from the golf store, from the estate sale. So check that. I feel so awkward doing this. I feel like a little kid showing off what he got for the holidays. And then this same shirt, Call Me If You Get Lost, same kind of idea, but now we're getting back to golf, don't you worry. This is one of my favorites. It's a dark green. That's a waffle, and in syrup it says Golf Wing. Isn't that pretty sick? I know. Tell me in the comments on our YouTube. Then the Igor shirt, classic. This one says Psycho Golf on it. I really like it. The colors are super fun. Nice blue and nice pink. Really fun. And then golf crew neck. And then another waffle hoodie because my mom bought me 2 of the waffle ones. Shout out, Mom. But thanks for listening to me ramble about my little thing that I like to talk about. Maybe this will inspire you guys to go out and get some pieces of your own or make your own merch. Send that to me. I'll buy it. I'll be your biggest supporter. But if you don't want to do those 2 things, you could also just send me more golf merch because, as you can see, I don't have enough, and people can't really tell that I'm a Tyler the Creator fan, so I have to do things like show off my merch on a segment of me talking about Tyler the Creator on JayhawkJukebox. So you could really just assist me by, give your little guy some more clothes. Well, JayhawkJukebox.
Slay. In a world where indie music is overrun by 22-year-old boys with bad haircuts and girls with bangs who sing in cursive, there's one band who stands out and who has outlasted so many bands, and it's all because of one thing: sampling. The band I'm talking about today is TV Girl, a band that was formed in 2012, named after a Beat Happening song, but has maintained its relevancy through TikTok, collaborations with other artists, and their refreshing music production. Like I mentioned, TV Girl's use of sampling across their 7 albums is like nothing I've ever heard in like the mainstream indie genre, which I do know is an oxymoron. Leave me alone. I know. Scrolling through their page on whosampled.com, there's so many pages of samples, and it's not just music that they're sampling. In fact, Taking What's Not Yours literally samples the Watergate tapes. How crazy is it? My absolute favorite thing about TV Girl is their use of hip-hop sampling in like indie songs. For example, Slick Rick's Lottie Dottie on Mirror Mirror, and I Know You Got Soul by Eric B. and Rakim on Fallout. I won't forget listening to The Getaway for the first time ever and thinking, oh my god, I've heard that sound before, what is it? I went and looked it up. It was Crooklyn, Master Ace, and Buckshot, which is like such a needle drop if you think about it. And, of course, lest we forget, the hook to Jump the Turnstile, which is a song that they collabed with Jordana on, features 3-Minute Rule by none other than the Beastie Boys. If you thought that I wouldn't sneak in a Beastie Boys reference into this video, you were wrong. It always happens. But then again, that is only scratching the surface. Like I said, there's so many examples on their Who Sampled page. Their latest album, Grapes on the Vine particularly, also features heavy gospel influences with live choirs mixed in with old jazz samples, which is super cool. You can hear artists like Emily Bittinger, the Davis Sisters, T.L. Barrett, and rather than focused on more complex beats or music, they kind of went for like a more like laid back piano vibe, and they really just let the samples take over. In a world that's in constant competition for whose guitar is the crunchiest or which lyrics are the most pretentious, TV Girl has found their niche, and if they continue to stay in it, they'll be able to fully solidify themselves as an indie mainstay.
Welcome back to This Week in History, where we'll be recounting events in music history from the past week. I'm Peyton.
And I'm Alexandria. On September 4th, 1954, Elvis made his debut at the Grand Ole Opry, coinciding with the release of his second Sun record single, Good Rockin' Tonight. The audience did not seem to enjoy it, causing the Opry's manager to tell Elvis he should return to truck driving. 2 weeks later, after appearing at the Louisiana Hayride, a rival venue, Elvis made a deal to appear on 52 Saturday night broadcasts, which launched his career.
In 1964, House of the Rising Sun became a 3-week run at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. This was the breakout hit of the UK band The Animals and quickly became a favorite. The traditional folk song was transformed by the band and was unlike anything heard previously on the airwaves. It went on to influence many artists and is considered to be the first folk rock hit.
On September 17, 1968, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham made their live debut at the Gladsaxe Teen Club in Denmark. Around 1,200 kids watched the new Yardbirds performance, and the group spent 9 days recording and mixing their first album, which was built from their setlist. Not long after, the band received a cease and desist letter from a member of the Yardbirds, prompting them to change their name to Led Zeppelin.
In 1970, the open-air Love and Peace Festival in Germany served as the venue for the Jimi Hendrix Experience's final show. Less than 2 weeks later, Hendrix was dead at 27. In 2005, the audio was officially released as Live at the Isle of Furman after the bootlegs of the performance circled for years.
In 1971, the McCartneys topped the Billboard Hot 100 with Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey. The song was based on Paul McCartney's real-life uncle and appeared on their album Ram. This was Paul McCartney's first solo #1 in the country.
On September 8, 1973, Marvin Gaye began a 2-week run at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The signature hit, Let's Get It On, served as the title track for Gaye's 13th studio album and quickly became one of Motown Records' biggest singles.
On September 5, 1981, Stevie Nicks topped the U.S. album chart with her solo debut, Belladonna. It remained on the Billboard Billboard 200 for nearly 3 years and featured hits such as Edge of 17 and Leather and Lace.
In 1982, a 3-day music festival funded by Apple founder Steve Wozniak kicked off in San Bernardino, California, the roster included Tom Petty, Fleetwood Mac, The Police, The Cars, the B-52s, and the Talking Heads. Wozniak hoped to encourage more community events pairing state-of-the-art technology and live music.
On September 9th, 1995, Coolio scored his first U.S. #1 single with Gangsta's Paradise. It earned a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance and sampled the chorus of Stevie Wonder's 1976 Pastime Paradise. The single was also featured in the 1996 movie Dangerous Minds.
On September 6, 1977, Elton John recorded a reimagined version of Candle in the Wind. The 1973 song, originally written in honor of Marilyn Monroe, was performed at the funeral of the late Princess Diana. John altered the lyrics to honor his friend and chose to release the song a week after the initial performance, with the proceeds benefiting Diana's charities. It went on to top both the US and UK charts and became the best-selling single of all time in both countries.
In 2001, the Jackson 5 reunited at Madison Square Garden during Michael Jackson's 30th anniversary celebration. The show featured guest appearances by Eminem, Whitney Houston, Gladys Knight, Britney Spears, and Destiny's Child. This ended Jackson's 11-year hiatus from performing in the U.S.
In 2003, David Bowie performed the first interactive concert from London's Riverside Studios. The show was broadcast to 21 cinemas around the globe where the audience could speak to Bowie and request songs via microphones linked to IDSN lines.
In 2007, Taylor Swift released Our Song, becoming her first #1 single on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart. It maintained its position for 6 consecutive weeks and broke new records, making Swift the youngest person to single-handedly write and perform a #1 song on the chart. It crossed over to the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 16, and became the 3rd consecutive top 40 single off of Swift's debut album.
On September 3, 2009, friends and family gathered in Los Angeles to pay their respects to Michael Jackson after his death on June 25th. He was laid to rest at the Glendale's Forest Lawn Cemetery, and the funeral was globally broadcast via live stream to an estimated 2.5 billion viewers.
That's all for Jayhawk Jukebox this week. Tune in again next week at 4:30 and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at JayhawkJukebox and on our brand new YouTube channel at Jayhawk Jukebox. Have a great week, Jayhawks.
Bye, Jayhawks.
Yeah.